much. Hi, everyone. I am joined here by Patty Myers, professor at Media Lab, and I would like to present our work on attentive view, evaluating the effectiveness of real-time biofeedback to monitor the probability to sustain attention. As we are very limited on time, I do encourage you, if you have any questions, please send us an email. So just to position us within a very short time frame, I will first present you the hardware, because our project does involve heavily very specific hardware. It's a system we have designed 4 or 5 years ago at the lab called Attentive View, and it's a pair of glasses that can measure the brain activity of a person. You can see these electrodes named as electroencephalography or EEG, just on the sides of the pads around the ears. And we can also pick up the eye movements of the person using the sensing modality called electrooculography or EOG. For those who are not familiar, this does not involve any microphones or cameras whatsoever. And we are also able to provide a feedback in real time, either context-based, but also on device itself, meaning that we can provide sound or haptic feedback if there is, for example, some changes in cognitive activities. So this is how the system looks like on one of the users. And we have done over past several years multiple things with Attentive View. We can measure attention, auditory, visual, internal, external, engagement, fatigue, drowsiness, and cognitive performance. There is a lot of prior work actually on specifically using biofeedback, meaning giving a feedback to the user about their cognitive state in real time or offline. For example, for sustaining attention, also that this biofeedback can improve performance outcomes in the classroom settings, and that brain sensing is actually suitable for classroom activities and improves academic performance outcome. And I'm not going to go into depth about how we are doing that. I do encourage you to check the papers or send us an email, but we are basically using different formulas that are provided by the state of the art, and we have derived some of them as well, particularly the brain installations, different alpha, beta, theta bands, and also eye movements. So the amount of blinks, saccade movements you are doing while you are working. Just as an example, when you are very focused on a task, for example, you really look right now on my slides, you would try to kind of stare a bit and you will blink a bit less than if you're actually bored. So just to give you an example. So what is the difference? You might have heard about use of biofeedback and the devices that include brain sensing, like our system. But what is different in our approach is that we use this closed loop real-time biofeedback in the context of actual homework. So usually in the state of the art, there is a proposed like little video game that is used. So it's usually not actual task that is being targeted, but just something else that is designed to help target and improve attention. So we are trying to target the actual homework, so the user will actually do what they're supposed to do and use our system in the context of the task. And we obviously want to expand. A lot of this research is presented using populations who are having ADD or ADHD, but we try to really expand it further for children and young adults. So for the recruitment, we are looking at 45 participants, ages 12-18, with a biofeedback group, random feedback, and controls. We already did some of these studies, so because obviously it's very important, maybe just the presence of the device itself, will actually spike the attention. So maybe we don't need to give like actual measurements. We are looking at doing a 1-hour session approximately for 3 times a week over a period of 8 weeks, with tasks that are pretty regular, like watching the videos that was assigned as a homework, or and reading tasks. So it's either 2 videos or 2 reading tasks, or video and reading, depending on the assigned homework. We very important, cannot really go again in the depths of the whole protocol, but we do calibration. It's a very common question we are getting. So each time you are putting the device, there is a calibration. It's personalized. It's every day. I mean, every day when you use the device. It is very short, but it will allow for high precision for our ML model. So there is multiple tasks. For example, go, no go tasks, moving object tracking task, resting and back tasks. So basically you would need to click on some items, we will measure the speed, is it correct, incorrect, etc. So this is a whole pipeline which is pretty short but personalized. It's like little mental brain games, I would call them, and this would allow for this calibration. Because what if you had not a very good night, you didn't sleep enough and you're just tired? We're not going to do a generalized model. We will basically adjust the model and adjust the scores that are matching your current state. And we are looking at a lot of things in evaluation, specifically in objective performance metrics to measure the learnability of the material presented, well, quizzes and content-related questions, but also subjective feedback, obviously, from the participants, from the caregivers, from the teachers. And we are looking at academic performance before, during, and after the intervention. And we have multiple goals, obviously, in the project. We would love to demonstrate if the students can improve the ability to sustain attention, test our biofeedback, and if it actually can improve the learning performance, verify if the long-term use of the system would result in any improved engagement level when the system potentially and will not be in use anymore, which is very, very important. We don't envision it to be worn all the time at home, but actually rather really more at time when you need it. And actually investigate finally if the biofeedback would, the triggered by drop of engagement will keep users' attention higher and over longer periods of time. We obviously, because this project is hardware related, we were particularly hit by COVID, as John did mention in the beginning, with obviously huge, you might see, still ongoing supply chain permutations. However, we did a pre-study one, it is published, you can see the photo on the right, it is, as you have guessed, no masks on that photo, it is pre-COVID, where we actually managed to do 3 classes over a period of 3 weeks. It's a science class with the teacher, measure performance before, during, and after 8 weeks after the intervention happened. And now we are working on having actual in-home, so shipping the devices, as MIT now allows for these protocols to be in place. And thank you for your attention.